Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello to anyone coming on live. It's April Mack here, business coach, mentor, and trainer. And I'm coming live with a very interesting topic, which may seem a bit off topic for me, in that it's all about forgiveness. And what would a business coach be talking about forgiveness for anyway, you might be asking. So that'll be it's going to be an interesting session. If you're watching live, say hi so I know who you are. And if you're watching on replay, #replay, let me know you're here. I thought I'd do this morning because my children are still in bed, but we may get interrupted by them because they usually come in for a cuddle as soon as they wake up. Good morning, Tracy. As you can see, I have just woken up. Well, I've actually been awake for a while and I've done a meditation, and I thought I'll do this now because the rest of the day I'm booked up with children activities, being the school holidays. So I wanted to come on. I'd said that I was going to do this live a while back, but I haven't done it yet. And some beautiful stuff popped in this morning. So I thought, right, get on and do it. So I want to talk to you about forgiveness. Forgiveness of others, but most importantly, forgiveness of ourselves. Because for me, this whole journey with forgiveness has been literally life-changing. And has been the key, I think, to me growing my self-love, which grows my self-worth and then allows me to do what I'm here to do. So it's a big topic, and I'd love to hear, if you're watching either live or on replay, any aha moments that you get, or any shares that you want to pop in, so that we can create richness for anyone else watching. So it's not just the April Mack show. So let's see, how do I start this? I haven't really got many notes here today because I just wanted to free flow. Forgiveness of others. I think every single one of us will have someone that we need to forgive right now. I don't think this work is ever finished. I think forgiveness is something that we probably have to just work on throughout our whole lives. So anytime someone does something to us that hurts us, then if we don't forgive them, we're going to hold on to that feeling, hold on to that hurt. And the person who gets hurt when we haven't forgiven someone is not them, it's ourselves, right? So if we're hanging on to anger, annoyance, frustration, any kinds of feelings towards another, it's ourselves that we're hurting. So forgiveness is not for the other person. That's the first thing I want to say. Is you don't necessarily forgive someone else for them, although that's a nice reason. You actually do it for yourself because it's going to make you feel better. So that's the first thing. So that might motivate anyone who's holding on to a grudge and thinking, oh, I can't forgive that person, I will never forgive them. If you think of it as doing for yourself, it might make it a little easier to just step forward, take a few steps forward towards forgiveness. And people have done things to us throughout the years of our lives, and we often have built up a whole lot of angst around the things that others have done to us, seemingly done to us, and it can create a really big wound inside of us, especially if it's one or two people who are very close to you. Could have been parents, siblings, people close to you in your life where things have happened repeatedly over years. There can be a whole lot of hurts. And so I'm not talking about this lightly, just saying, oh, just forgive everyone, love everyone. Oh, it's easy. I'm not saying that at all. It's a process and a practice. And I guess the point of this live is to remind you, because anyone watching, for some reason you're watching because you need some reminding that it's time to forgive someone in your life, in your past. Either it could be someone in your present or it could be someone in your past. And I just want to unravel that a bit more, talk about how you do that and why you would do it and what the results of doing it could be for you. So bear with me because I keep looking down at notes because normally I have notes, but I've really got very few notes here. But I'm just allowing the thoughts to pop in. I'm just going to say, please do comment as we go if you've got any, and I will have a look at them. But for me, I'll share my experience with this journey. The people that I've had to forgive the most is my family. I think none of us had a perfect childhood, despite all the efforts our parents and would have gone to make it perfect as possible. None of us had a perfect childhood. So the first people that we often have to forgive are our parents for the mistakes that they made that were hurtful to us. And this is tricky to talk about because I absolutely adore my parents. I love them so much. But there was a time in my late 20s where all the stuff about my childhood came up for me, and I felt very angry towards them. And I was really, really hurt and struggling with how I felt towards them for the things that they had done, which I now see as mistakes. But at the time when it all came up, I didn't see them as mistakes. I thought, they did that to me, you know, they hurt me. So it was a fairly long process for me of going to counselling and doing a whole lot of work. But for me, it has been so worth doing that work of forgiving them and setting them free and myself free from what happened. Because if we carry that on in our daily lives, it becomes a really big story that we then project that out onto the world. So whatever they did that hurt you, you will start to see evidence of other people doing that to you. And it becomes part of the April Mac story that, you know, these things always happen to April, you know, and you can carry that on and on and on. But if you can forgive the people who helped start that story, it's such a freeing thing for both them and for you. And you know, I could talk here for hours about this because it's a huge topic. I'm just going to scratch the surface today and give you some stuff to think about, I guess. So if there's someone in your life, be it your parents or a partner or current person or a past person who's gone, a good exercise to do is to write their name at the top of a page. Divide the page into 2 columns. Write their name at the top of the left-hand column and write down all the things you're upset at them for, the things that you would ultimately like to forgive them for, but that you haven't yet, and write them down. You know, I'm unhappy with so-and-so because they're a liar, or they've lied to me, or they hurt me in this way, they treated me like this, I don't trust them, they judged me, whatever it is. Big long list. Go for your life. And see all the things that you're upset with them for. Then on the right-hand column, I want you to write your name and copy across all the things, all of them, that you don't like them for, and your name is at the top of this next list. Because, and this, some of you may disagree with what I'm saying here, and that's fine. This is my belief. It's my experience. My lived experience is that everyone in my life is my mirror for the things in me that I need to forgive in myself, for the hurts in me, for the shadow side of myself that needs to be loved and let go of. So if you write all the things that you're unhappy about with that person under your name, then you can kind of look at that list and see that there will be parts of you that are in that list. So if you've written liar on under the other person, write liar under yourself, because we've all lied and we've had to lie for various reasons. So just write the list. Then what I want you to do is to think about the list under your name and send love to those parts of you that are that way. So if you've got liar, for example, on your list, send love to the part of you that has lied, and know that you did that. You lied because probably you've lied at various times in your life. We all have. There's no one of us that hasn't lied. You have lied because you probably needed to protect yourself in some way, or it served you at the time to lie. You know, my kids lie to me all the time. Well, not all the time, but they do. And I can still love them. I still love my children if they lie to me. So you've got to love yourself, even if you've lied. Just like the person that you're forgiving, you love them too. And you're going to love them for showing you, being your mirror and showing you that part of you that needs to be loved and needs to be healed. And if you can love that part of you and say, you know what, yes, I have lied. I've lied and I've done the wrong thing by others, and I'm going to love myself for it because, you know, it was my survival technique at the time, and I'm going to forgive myself for it. And really forgive yourself. So in this process of forgiving another, you can focus all of it on yourself if you want to. If it's too hard to focus it on them, focus it on yourself. And what you might do by loving yourself through that is actually see how the things they did to you, they were doing for their own survival potentially, or that because they knew no better. And if you can love them like you would your own child if you have children, or like you would someone that you love as unconditionally as possible, love them in that way. And it's a practice. So the last kind of person in my life that I need to do this for is my ex-husband, so the father of my children. And, you know, I met him at a time in my life where he was exactly what I needed. He gave me a lot of lessons and he's still giving them to me. And so I've got to be grateful for that. That is what he is here for. He's here to hold up that big ugly mirror. Sometimes we're not as pretty as we think. And he's holding up the mirror of those parts of me that I really just need to love and then let go of. Because once we let go of them in ourselves, then that person doesn't need to hold that mirror up anymore. Once we've really, truly gotten to the core of deep love for ourselves and forgiveness of ourselves, they don't need to do it. So they'll either go away or they'll stop doing the thing that they're doing, and it just won't be a thing anymore. I believe this wholeheartedly. It's been my lived experience. So I can't stress that enough. I will come to comments in a second. The other thing, what else was I going to share with you? Oh, that's right. I wanted to say why the hell is April Mack, business coach, talking about forgiveness on her business page? Because normally I share business tips. But what I've realised in the last year or so is that those of us in soul-led businesses, our business is us. We are our business. What we're sharing with the world comes from our core, from our heart. It's our soul's purpose. And therefore, if we've got stuff that needs healing, that needs work, it's going to affect our business. So doing this practice, doing this work of self-forgiveness, self-love, if we raise our self-worth, then we also can raise our net worth, because we will be open to receiving more. So this can actually have an impact on your bottom line, on your profits, on the amount of money that you will feel comfortable charging and the amount of money you get to receive. If you believe in manifesting, which I do, all of this work is fundamental to making more money and having a more successful business. So that's the link. If you're thinking, why is she talking about this? That's the link to business. So the more healthy we are as a person, as a soul, then the better our businesses will be as a result, and the more people will be able to help, and we'll be able to do what we're really here to do. So that's the link there. Also, it happens that I'm running a beautiful program called Goddess, which the doors are still open to. So if any of you are interested, you can jump on in. We've only just started. And these are the sorts of things that we are delving into in there. Is a whole lot of stuff really about, being happier, healthier human beings here in this incarnation and doing what we're here to do. So no subject is off the table, really. So that's kind of what I wanted to share. I'm just going to have a quick look here at comments to see what you guys have shared, if anything that's useful. Tracy, it's funny how this is such a repeat practice. Yes, this work doesn't stop. I think it's a lifelong practice, right? Because the minute we forgive one part, the next thing's ready to be shown. Thank you for bringing it back to it again. I've got some family and personal forgiveness to do, which isn't bad, but I have emotions about it. there's an element of forgiveness needed. Yeah, absolutely. We all do. You know, we've all got it. Beautiful practice. Thank you, says Joanne. Thanks for your comments, guys. So yeah, it is a practice. It's ongoing. The more you do it, the easier it gets, I feel. But the key really for me has been, and I talked about this in Taboo, so any of you who know about Taboo, it's a private free group that I've set up with a whole range of speakers, of which I am just one. And there's all sorts of subjects in there. And what I shared in there was about how in my teenage years, I turned to alcohol and pretty much promiscuity to kind of numb me out and to deal with where I was at the time. And so I've had to do a lot of forgiveness of myself for what I did to myself in those days. I really abandoned myself. So that's just the one final piece I want to talk about, is that forgiving ourselves for the times in our life where we've abandoned ourselves is really, really critical too. So obviously when you're a child, that doesn't apply because you needed the adults in your life to be looking after you. So I'm not talking about any self-abandonment as a child, but later in life, you know, for me as a teen and a young adult, and then into my later adult years, I abandoned myself many, many times. And I've had to forgive myself for that, because that it was survival for me. And so I can just love myself through that and say, you know, it's sad actually that I had to endure those things, rather than being shameful towards myself or thinking bad things. It's more with compassion and almost like a motherly approach to myself, like a beautiful, the mum that you've always wanted, the mum that would understand anything you did and love you to bits through it. If you can be that for yourself, oh my goodness, it will set you free in so many ways. So I am now, for myself, the mother that I would have needed, would have wanted, and I can be very loving and compassionate to myself no matter what I do. And I think that's really been the key for me to a lot of personal growth and, you know, more peace and joy in my life. Absolutely. So I hope this has been useful for you. I hope it gives you a little aha moment if you needed it. And I wish you a beautiful, beautiful day, whatever it is you're doing. Lots of love to you all. And I'll see you online soon. Bye-bye.